Hi everyone, welcome back to One Piece of Me. My name is Nicole D'Agostino. I am the narrator. This is my life, my dreams, my story. And today I'm going to tell you the story about how yet another one of my dreams is coming true. I'm very excited because I have been going down the One Piece rabbit hole with many of my friends and fellow crewmates now. And I'm about to start my very first live stream TikTok live shop. So you'll actually be able to follow me on TikTok at OP Keepers Card Breaks, and I will provide that link for you. So definitely follow along to learn about the treasure that I have found in the trading cards. We're going to have them available on the live shop. I'll be there to open them with you. We'll have a team and crew of friends to get excited if you open up any really great treasures. We're always looking for the alt art cards, and if you know anything about the One Piece mega billion-dollar industry, it is really taken over the globe right now. So I'm very excited about this new venture. Please stay tuned. I have been watching. I'm at 420 standing right now and just about to download Funimation. One of the things I'm going to talk about today is actually episodes 31 through about 45, 46, because it's the Nami story. It's the part of the story where we left off before, where we've got Sanji on the ship and he's our new cook. But Nami has taken off with the Going Merry. She's stolen their treasures, and now she's taken off and Luffy is on his way to find her. So I'm excited about talking about the show. Before I actually get into all of that, just want to thank you so much. Make sure that you continue to subscribe to this channel. Follow me on TikTok. Make sure you like everything. Make sure that you're commenting. I'm absolutely very tedious about commenting back and making a connection with all of you. So let's keep this lots of fun One Piece stuff going. Definitely want to tell you that I have found lots of treasure in the trading cards as I've been opening, as I have been going and playing in the tournaments. There's so many different avenues of how wonderful this One Piece collection and One Piece fun is for me and for my whole crew. Recently, I was able to open up a card. It was a value. It was one I already had. Some of them I'm trading, some of them I'm selling, some of them I'm buying for my collection. So I'm really juggling everything and just trying to find a balance with it. But I recently pulled the Rebecca Alt Art Leader. And as you know, that card, just as is, without being graded or anything, is valued at almost $70 right now. So what I did was I took it to my local store, found somebody who was really interested in it. We made a deal. And of course, I love money and I love berries. And so I have been able to make some really good cold hard cash off of some of these early cards, ones that I have already have duplicates on. I'm keeping this flow going. I like to make the money. I like to give the money away. I like to give the cards away. So this part of the share here is for my cameraman, Devin. It was his share of the card. So just wanted to hand this right over to you. It's raining money. Okay, so I can't hand it over to you right now, but it's coming. And you should know that. So like I said, I'm really just trying to move all of this stuff and pay it forward. I'm very grateful for you, of course, my cameraman, Devin Merchant from Ghost on the Ox. Thank you so much for taking this dive into the ocean with me, because it really is just this wide ocean of so much wonderful. And I'm excited.
You're welcome. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, there's more to come on that. So we're, like I said, going to get right into it. The story right now, if you're watching the anime, is a very emotional part. It's actually the Nami backstory. It's where Nami's going, which is to her village. And when we find out that she's taken off and Luffy is on his way to get there, Zoro goes ahead and they are, getting to the island, and they are basically looking all over for Nami. Where is she? Why did she run off? What's going on? And when they get to her island, they find out that it's been taken over by a very powerful fish man, and his name is Arlong. And basically, Arlong came into her village many years ago, took it over. He's a bad pirate. He's very anti-human because he believes he is superior, and they're very strong. And so basically, that's where we're at. I don't want to do too many spoiler alerts, but I do kind of want to talk about it a little bit. Right now, Nami has stolen the berries. That's what she's after, the treasure, and nobody quite knows why yet. And as the crew is wandering the island, island, they're coming in contact with different characters and different people that are a part of Nami's life. And some of the first people that we come in contact with is Nojiko, and she is the half-sister, adoptive sister of Nami. They were adopted by a lady named Bellamere, so we learn about Bellamere being their adoptive mom. She is a Marine, retired Marine. She was in battle, thought she was the only survivor left on this island that was torn apart until this one little girl came out carrying a baby, and she knew that she had to live and make it off of this island and make it out of there with these two. And basically, Bellamere comes from a bit of a rocky, more wild child side of her youth as well, and we learn a little bit more about that, and basically takes these two young girls in and raises them as, you know, their mother. When Arlong comes, there's a lot of villagers. Genzo, we're introduced to Genzo, and he's trying to protect the village as well, but they know the people can't fight up against Arlong. He's too powerful, and now they have to pay him in order to survive and live, and then he won't destroy their town, which is a terrible, terrible thing. We know, of course, the pains and trials and tribulations of feeling that defeat and feeling that helplessness. And so what we start to learn about Nami is that she has this dramatic childhood experience. When Arlong gets to Bellamere's house, she doesn't have the money for her and for her two girls to pay up, and basically she sacrifices the money that she has just to pay for the girls to live, and Arlong kills her in front of them. And at that moment, Nami is just a little girl torn up by what's happened. This, you know, terrible fishman has come in and taken over, and he's just evil. And so the only way that she can think of to possibly save her village and do whatever she can for it is she joins the Arlong pirate crew. And the guys on the ship, Luffy and Zoro and Usopp and Sanji, they don't know this yet. They're, like I said, wandering the island. They're coming in contact with people. They're coming in contact with Nami. Nami's pretending that she doesn't really care about them. Their lives are in danger for a minute. She kind of does stuff to like make sure that they live, but you know, she's also not wanting to give her position away with Arlong because she struck a deal with him a long time ago. If she could come up with 100 million berries and give that to him, he would basically let her buy the island back. He would leave the island, go away. And so that is what she's been working really hard over the last 8 years for. She doesn't know anybody on the island even knows about it. She does find out that her sister, you know, suspects it and finds out and knows about it. She knows that Genzo knows about it, and they're basically not saying anything. They're pretending that they don't know. And so when they finally get to this point in the show where she's so close to really making this happen, there is a betrayal. And when that betrayal takes place, we actually finally see the seriousness of Luffy and the dedication he has to his crewmates. He's not after, he's going after the One Piece, but as you all know, that is a mystery. And I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and of course it is a lot of fun to go through all the different theories of what it could be. But at this point, we know that his value is his friends. Nami is a value to him. She's his friend and his navigator, and he's not going anywhere without her. So he basically, you know, where it goes to is it's starting to really get to that point where it's this serious moment. Another couple of characters that come into play, of course, are Hachin. We see him. He's one of the fishermen on Arlong's crew, and that all takes place in Arlong Park. We also see a little bit more of Momu, the sea creature. We find out who he is. There are trading cards out there. If you know this and you love this and you're keeping up on all the characters and loving all the artwork that we're seeing in the trading cards, you know that his character is definitely up there and valuable, of course, to the show. It does come back a little bit, spoiler alert for later. But one of the things that I think is important to know is that this is one of the parts in the anime that really draws you in emotionally. I know a lot of people out there probably cried when Nami felt like she, you know, finally found out that she was not only betrayed by one of these warlords, Arlong, but also by a Marine who the Marines seem to be not even paying attention to, just let this pirate get, you know, away with anything, and that's part of being a warlord. But it gets to the point where she's finally like almost given up, and she's got this tattoo on her which is like the Arlong pirates, and she's, you know, the town has found out that she's just gone as far as she can go, that Arlong has really, you know, pulled one over on her, and now they're willing to risk their lives and go and fight for her. And it was the last thing Nami wanted, because she knows that they cannot win. And she does not want anybody's lives to be in danger. So this is all falling down around her. She's, walked around the island trying to get everybody off the island because she doesn't want anybody to get hurt. She doesn't want anybody to find out that she actually made friends and that she enjoys friends, because she feels like that would put their lives at risk. But it gets to the point where there is this incredibly emotional part where Nami is on the ground and she is just stabbing her tattoo. And she wants it off of her. She doesn't want to be. She's crying, crying, crying. And Luffy, very cool, just walks up behind her. And she's, of course, like at first, go away, go away, go away. And then she finally asks Luffy for help. And Luffy does not skip a beat. He takes that very, very precious straw hat off and he puts it on her. And he was like, of course I will. And that's it. It's game on. I mean, there are like probably 5 or 6 episodes in the 30s that are basically Monkey D. Luffy going in there. That first punch that he lands on Arlong was tears to glory, because you knew he had it coming, he deserved it, and the only one that could give it to him is Luffy. And that's the part we get excited for in this show, is we see, something that's bad and a hero comes in and he takes, action to make sure that that person is being held accountable for what they've done. The fight goes on. There's many different parts to that. Like I said, I want you guys to be watching this. I want it to be contagious, that I'm talking to you a little bit about it. I'm not giving you any information or spoiler alerts on some of these parts, but it really is a precious, precious moment. Everybody gets involved for the fight. They're trying to, definitely take out the fishmen. It gets to a point where Luffy has been thrown into the sea. Everybody's coming to his rescue. And then it gets to a point where Monkey D. Luffy is back in the fight, and he is in this room where it is obvious that it was a room where Nami spent a lot of years chained up as a prisoner, basically forced to make maps for Arlong and his crew. And when Monkey D. Luffy sees this around the room, he was just appalled. He was like, this is my friend that you have kept prisoner all these years to do this for you. Her dream is to make a map of the world, not for you, not for anybody else, but for herself. This is her dream, and this is my friend, and you've crushed her dream all of these years. So he basically destroys everything she'd done in that room, every part of it, every piece of it, and it's glorious. We watch Arlong Park crumble. We watch the victory of what's happened. We watch Nami, who's gone from, I'm not going to be part of your crew, I don't want anything to do with this, to, okay, I'm part of your crew. And that's basically the story of episodes 31 through like 45 or 46. There's some really great moments that, like I said, I'm not going to share all of it with you because I want you guys to really go out and be inspired to watch it. But I think that some of the most emotional parts come from the backstories of these animators, these characters. And like I said, we see so many little parts to this. One of the beautiful parts is that we learn that Genzo, who is one of the gentlemen who's a villager on the island, he's been fighting and on Nami's side all along, and he wears this little pinwheel in his hat, and that's very significant because when she was younger, she used to like that little pinwheel. And we know that Bellamere was raising these kids on a tangerine farm, and while it didn't make enough money to really cover everything for them, they were very happy together. So the tangerine is obviously very monumental and important in the story. Matter of fact, before she sets sail with Luffy and the others, she winds up getting rid of the one tattoo of the Arlong pirates, and she has a new one made that's in the symbol of, it has the pinwheel on it and also has the tangerine. So Nami is our first girl on the ship. She's definitely a tough cookie. She's robbing from the rich so that she can feed the poor, and she was, really trying to do everything she could to steal this treasure from everyone else to save her island. And it's brilliant, and it's significant, and it's strong, and it's very powerful and very emotional. So like I said, definitely a great part, a great point. Lots of characters, like I said, come out and you're going to see a lot of the superpowers. It's very funny and very entertaining as well. Arlong is a fish man and he's got these shark teeth. And there's a part where Monkey D. Luffy is just learning his abilities and his powers and kind of falling into it and realizes as a rubber man that he can basically take the teeth that he's knocked out of Arlong and put them into his own gummy mouth. And, at first you're like, ew, that's disgusting. It would be like taking somebody's dentures out of their mouth and then putting them into your own. But at this point, it's like hilarious because he's now trying to bite Arlong back. It's really just got a lot of really great, funny, incredible moments. There was another moment, I think, that was really cute where Monkey D. Luffy is stuck underwater. And of course, we know that, he can't survive in the sea because he's eaten the devil fruit. But he is trying to be saved by multiple people on the island, as well as Sanji, who's getting attacked underwater as he's trying to save Luffy. And because he's a stretchy man, Nojiko gets in there and she tries to stretch his head up out of the water so he can breathe. And so she's got him stretched up out of the water while they're down below trying to get the rock off of him that he's like stuck underneath. So like I said, it's really just such a wonderful story. The characters are brilliant. I can't say enough about it. Devin, do you have any comments or questions about this part of the show? Because again, I know that you're a little bit behind, but I know that you're catching up to us. And like I said, it's just one of the most beautiful and very emotional parts in the story. One of the things that a lot of people online like to talk about are like, who is your favorite backstory? Who has the most emotional backstory? Which one really got you the most? And I know that there have been quite a few. We know that, Monkey's got a backstory. Zoro has one. We know Usopp's because we just kind of came from that part of the story as well. But it's really just about, everybody's together trying to make their dreams come true. And, they've all had these traumatic moments. So Nami is definitely a favorite for emotional backstories.
Before the big fight actually happens, everybody's like looking for everybody.
Yes.
And I just remember Zoro shows up and he takes out a bunch of people. Yes. At Arlong Park. And then the one dude who, I forget his name, but the guy who's able to like travel and bring people with him in that
Hachin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the?
It's like a basket of some sort,
like a basket,
right? It's some sort of basket.
I was thinking like a tub, but a basket. I like how I just thought it was funny how like they leave and at the same time that they're leaving, everybody else is showing up.
Yeah.
I think it was like Luffy and who else was it? They're showing up.
Yeah.
Zoro is going to look for...
It's Luffy and Sanji and Yokoso and Johnny.
Yeah.
Big bro and little bro.
Yeah.
Little bro, big bro.
They show up to Arlong Park.
Yeah. Yep.
Right as Zoro at the same time is leaving to look for them.
Right.
So they're just like
he
passing
goes on
by
ahead
each
and
other.
gets there first.
Yeah.
He gets captured because Usopp is, scared because he sees the fishermen on the island, watching for boats going by. So he jumps ship. Okay. And basically Zoro is in this moment where he's like, okay, the captain said I can't to go get Nami, to come back with Nami, and that's what I'm going to do. So he's ready to just jump off the ship when they first pull up and jump out and like take out these fishmen. And they're like, no.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I remember you said how Nami doesn't want her friends getting mixed up in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think she realizes just how strong they actually are.
No, not yet.
She has no idea because Zoro can just take them all out so easily.
Yeah, and actually
takes out a bunch of them.
Yeah, and actually that's one of the parts that happens early on is that Zoro gets tied up by his own crew members because they're trying to hold him back from just attacking. They want to have a game plan. So when they tie him up on the boat, they jump ship from the boat when they get scared that the fishmen are going to come on. So Zoro's just basically left up tied on the boat. So, of course, Usopp's like, oh my gosh, Zoro's going to kill me. And, of course, Zoro's like, I'm going to kill him. So he gets captured by the fishmen. They bring him, to Arlong. And at that point, they're like, tell us why you're here. Tell us why you're here. And then Nami comes in and she's like, what is this bozo? Who is this, guy? And he's like, Nami, what are you doing, here and everything? And she's like, oh, you're just a big sore loser because I stole all your stuff. Look, I'm part of the Arlong crew. And he's like, oh, so, at this point, everybody's like, Nami's just a backstabbing little witch, and she's
that whole interaction where Zoro is trying, Zoro, and also it happens with Usopp. No, it happens to Usopp first, actually, right?
It happens to Zoro first,
where they're trying to convince Nami to come back.
No,
and she's trying to not reveal to Arlong that she's with them.
Right.
That whole like tense back and forth where she's trying to prove herself to Arlong.
Yep.
And but not reveal everything. Yeah. And she ends up stabbing Usopp.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there's another interaction with Zoro too, I think, right?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it's with Zoro. Zoro's there.
first.
Yeah, Zoro's first. She sees he's bandaged up.
Yeah.
You know, so she's already like suspicious, and she says to him, she's like, "Wow, that looks like it's, you know, you're pretty bandaged up. That looks like it was probably quite a fight." And he's pretty weak at this point too. Like he doesn't even have all his strength because he just got sliced up by Mihawk. Right? So he hasn't even fully recovered, but he wants to get back in the fight because his captain has given him an order. We need to go and get Nami. So he's kind of challenging her in that moment. He sees something in her and he's like, okay, is this really how you are? He actually kicks himself backwards and goes into the water on purpose.
To drown himself.
Yeah, so she's like sitting there like, I can't give myself away, but she jumps back in and she's like, you're a jerk, you know? And that's when I think he's suspicious now. He's like, all right, now I know how you really are. Because he's like challenged her, like, okay, so is this really the person that you are? Or
all those interactions are
all
so
those little interactions.
Tense.
They're very tense. And so what winds up happening is as Luffy and them are like wandering the island on one part, Usopp and them run back and, you know, some of them are telling them telling Luffy the story of how, you know, Nami is an Arlong pirate and she's not one of them. And he's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And then finally they run into Nojiko, and she's the one actually who fills them all in on the story. And it's at that point where they finally learn who Nami really is. And like I said, Nojiko's shocked. She's like, oh my gosh, my sister, who is so serious about saving our village and doesn't make friends with anybody, actually has friends and has fun with you. That must be pretty special. There's a little kid running around the island also, you know, at first. And, you know, Arlong has killed his father. And one of the lessons that we learn at this point too, because like I said, there's a lot of little lessons that happen. Arlong takes out his father. He wants nothing but revenge. He's, you know, ready to go and take on Arlong by himself. And actually, it's the first interaction of somebody on the island that Nami makes contact with, and she basically hits him over the head and says, hey, get out of here, kid. Who do you think you're messing with? You know, we're the Arlong pirates. Don't let me catch you around here. It is, you know, too bad about your dad or whatever. But even in that same breath where we're thinking that she's this mean girl who's like hitting a kid and, you know, telling him to get out of here and so emotionless and, you know, selfish, we're seeing that really in that moment, backtrack, she's saving his life. He then tries to take on some other fishmen, comes in contact with Nojiko and Usopp, who now are like trying to save the kid from going after Arlong so that he doesn't get hurt. So once again, now Nojiko is like actually taking out both, you know, she's hitting them both over the head with the frying pan, both Usopp and the kid, like, look, you guys, you can't win. And actually, if you go back to the story, it's in that moment, it's actually not even Luffy who gets the first hit on Arlong. We just remember it as being super powerful because he really gets a good hit on him, but it's actually Usopp that sees Arlong coming into the village. And he's like, who is this guy? And so he's standing on top of a roof and he, you know, breaks out a slingshot and he hits him with the fireball and it doesn't do any effect, but it's actually Usopp who actually is taking the nervous but brave way to take the first shot. And then, of course, they try to go after Usopp and, you know, they're all running around chasing each other all over the island. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of very special moments, like I said. And then, of course, one of the really beautiful moments that I think was really precious as well is that as hard as it was for Nami to leave her island and her village now that she had just spent years trying to protect, it was more important for her to go out on this crew and go out with this crew and take this adventure with her new friends because she had a dream. She wanted to draw a map of the world, and this was going to give her that opportunity to do it. You know, it was at this moment that she couldn't even say goodbye to the villagers. So you see them all standing around waiting for her to come and get on the ship. And she actually just takes a running start and just, you know, she basically pickpockets them all along the way to show that she's still a little cat burglar, a little thief. But basically she goes and she, you know, basically jumps onto the boat. And the money that she had been saving for the buyback of this island, she had been trying to collect 100 million berries. They were buried, the berries were buried in the tangerine fields. And it was a Marine who got tipped by Arlong that it was there. So that money actually did, after they fought everybody, got left to the people on the island. So, you know, she pickpocketed everybody, but at the same time, she just left everybody a little bit short of 100 million berries. So like I said, we see that sometimes the bad guy is not always the bad guy. It's sometimes the good guy. Sometimes the good guy turns out to be the bad guy, or sometimes the bad guy sees an example of what it's like to be good. Because one of Nami's initial, experiences is with a really bad pirate, one of the warlords, and he's just gone in there and shredded her. And so when she meets Luffy, she's like, all pirates are bad. So she's now seen Luffy make an example out of the fact that, why do pirates have to be bad? Why can't we be good pirates? Why can't we be different pirates? And that's really the learning lesson and the message. And that's what I love so much about this show, is it's all these tiny little details, all these characters, all this character development that's happening. So I did forget to mention this, but I do want to actually make a special note and say, wanted, Monkey D. Luffy. 30 million berries. Yep, this is the part actually where the episodes reveal that Nezumi, who is one of the corrupt Marines, he's got the rat-like whiskers on him. He's the one who tried to go after Nami's treasure because he got tipped off by Arlong that she had some there. And one of the things that I think is monumental in this particular part of the show is that he's the one who actually calls it into the Marines. He says, hey, I just watched Arlong get destroyed by Monkey D. Luffy. He's a bad pirate. And that's when Monkey D. Luffy gets his very first bounty on his head, and it's 30 million berries. And of course, it's printed all over and everybody gets to see it, and Kaya even gets a copy of it back on Usopp's island, and she sees the back of Usopp's head in the poster, and that's like a big monumental thing as well. So again, this is a really important part of the show, because as we know too, that was his goal. He wanted to be wanted, and now he got that. And actually, if you know how valuable the merchandise is too, some of those wanted cards or wanted posters, where you see, his bounty obviously does go up as he goes through the story, but this was the first. And like I said, it was a really important part of the show and the part of the episodes that we just went through, and wanted to just also comment on that. We're still, like I said, talking about these first episodes. I know it's fun for the new fans that are out there, so like I said, continue to follow along, and we'll keep on talking about more One Piece. We'll definitely talk about episodes 46 through maybe 60 the next time we get together, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you, One Piece. Thank you to the gentleman that introduced me to it. Thank you to all the people and all the friends now that are a part of my family and part of my crew that are helping me make these dreams come true. I get to eat, sleep, live, breathe One Piece. I get to watch the animation. I've watched the live action. I'm collecting the cards. I'm playing the game. I have a collection of everything you can imagine going on here, from the devil fruit gift boxes to the little skulls now that people are, passing my way with big smiley faces on them. These really adorable little mystery clips that we're now opening, and I know everybody's getting a kick out of these. Some of them are actually from the anime, and some were actually designed a little bit differently, where they actually follow the suit of the live action actors, which is cool. We were able to pull Zoro this week. We definitely got some really cute ones like Buggy the Clown. He's really, really special, really cute. And like I said, I'm just loving the journey, because there is a lot of treasure in this. People are already talking about the value of the cards and the boxes going up, up, up. Of course, like anything that you invest in the market, you really are never going to know. It's always going to be a risk. But I feel like the investment that I've made into One Piece has not only just been so much fun, such a beautiful experience. The story is amazing. I'm really excited about the future characters past episodes 420. Everybody keeps telling me that, oh, I'm in for it. It just keeps getting better and better, and it's true. If we know anything from the past Japanese animes and the empires from the past, we know the value of what we're looking at for the future. And I know there's a lot of people that are collecting a lot of these cards, and they're putting them away because they can fast forward in their mind and think, okay, let me plan for the next 10 years. This is the beginning stages of these cards, especially coming out. So I know that there's a lot of value. We are looking at the market. We are watching how the character cards come and go and how they rise and fall. And now with the new art, of the OP05, and now we've been catching glimpses of OP06 on the way. The fans are like, their minds are blown because the artwork is like alt arts on steroids. And anybody who isn't really a collector even, or comes from sports collecting or trading cards of other different games that are out there, are looking at the artwork on these cards and they're mesmerized. And they want to know where they can get them from. Where do I go around town? And I've been lucky to be on treasure hunts all over the place. I have GameStop, I've got Five Below, I've got Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, Target, I've got 3 or 4 different comic book stores. They don't always have a lot of stuff out right now, but I think for the holidays, we're gonna see it start coming and coming even more. Some friends of mine were just, as you can see on past videos, Halloween came and went, and they really wanted to be Zorro and Monkey D. Luffy for Halloween. And I saw a whole bunch of clips on YouTube and a whole bunch of clips on TikTok of all the people dressing up for all the Comic-Cons going on right now, which I'm really looking forward to. I did order the Boa Hancock costume, but it didn't come in for Halloween. And then Amazon sent me a message and said, we think that maybe your costume is lost in the mail. So I got the refund and I just figured, okay, I'll reorder that at another point in time when I am going to go to a Comic-Con and, dress up and do something. But it has just been so much fun. Like I said, this is my life, this is my dreams, and this is my story. So we all know that it is a lot of fun to watch, and it's a lot of fun to pop into these podcasts. I will have some future guests still on the show, but thank you for tuning in to just me alone here. This is another one piece of me. And like I said, this one piece of me is about to make another dream come true. Please follow me on the OP Keepers card breaks on TikTok. We are going to have so much fun opening boxes and boxes and boxes and packs of these cards. And I can't wait to see what I open for you, because like I said, this is treasure. We're gonna have so much fun, and I'm looking forward to all of the next future videos and shorts. So subscribe, and in the meantime, go out there, watch One Piece, collect it, and I will be back soon enough.